Hello there, a very good evening. Welcome to Rupavahini News. I'm Chamindi Samarasekara.
Hello there, good evening and a warm welcome indeed. I'm in Raja Surya. We start off with a look at the headlines for tonight.
The President emphasizes the need of providing the right to information for all sections as a country, ensuring democracy and human rights. Sri Lankan Prime Minister leaves the island on a 3-day official tour of New Zealand. Minister Sajid Premadasa reveals corruption and fraud at State Engineering Corporation during the previous regime. Parliamentarian Jayantha Samaraveera remanded till the 5th of next month. Bighainian farmers stage a protest demonstration in Dambulla. Dubai International Airport has been forced to ground flights for half an hour due to a drone flying in the area.
Now for those in more in detail, we start off with a look at local news. President Maithripala Sirisena emphasizes the need of opening the window of right to information for all sections of society as a country, ensuring democracy and human rights. The responsibility of all government and non-governmental organizations is to follow suit. The President made these observations when he addressed a seminar organized in connection with the International Right to Information Day in Colombo today. The International Right to Information Day is commemorated on the 28th of September each year throughout the world. A proposal to commemorate this occasion was passed in Bulgaria in 2002. Sri Lanka has stepped in to mark the occasion as a country which has enacted the Right to Information Act recently. The draft bill moved in Parliament by Parliamentary Reforms and Mass Media Minister Gantha Karunatilaka was passed by members of Parliament unanimously on the 24th of June this year. It has been considered as the 7th best Right to Information Act in the world in accordance with the establishment of democracy. Discussions on the 2-day international seminar which began in Colombo today will be centered on mass media regulation and its present situation as well as several relevant matters.
Tedious journey in re-establishing country's democracy and its lost values. The victory of President Maithripala Sirisena on January 8 last year paved the way for this arduous task, and the subsequent arrangement of cohabitation governance by the two major political forces in this country sent a clear message of stability and sustainability. The lawmaking process, independence of the judicial system, and mechanisms to protect the authority of law are among key features of this aspect. The third and final element is the democratic accountability. This is the people's right to question the state and governance and functioning of free media culture.
Addressing the international seminar, President Maithripala Sirisena said he is happy.
RTI was not linked only to free speech and expression. Often a person may need information to barely know if discretion was exercised. RTI seeks to bridge the wide information gap between citizens and the state, which leads to a huge imbalance of power between them. Accessing government records is directly linked to uncovering inefficiency, arbitrariness, and even corruption. Whatever be the political structure of a nation state, freedom of information about public affairs always remains at the forefront. And this is a great opportunity to reflect on the progress of RTI and explore the ways in which Sri Lanka can make best use of it.
That was former Chairman Indian Legal Commission Ajit Prakash Shah delivering the keynote address. Addressing the international seminar, President Maithripala Sirisena said he is happy to note that the present government has been able to enact the Right to Information Act, which was pushed back to the burner during the previous regimes. He added that everyone has a clear understanding about the obstacles and serious shortcomings which have to be faced by the country as a result of wrong financial management and misappropriation of public money. Most persons were used to carrying out functions that were not under their purview. They are not engaged in functions which were entrusted to them. Therefore, the right to information as well as using of freedom and democracy being given to the people of this country are always essential for the betterment of the country. It is important to decide as to whether the media is justifiable or not, and we should ask them from our conscience as to whether the free media has a space to continue its function. People's expectations from the state and private media is to fulfill their responsibilities for the betterment of the country, he said. It is very important for people to obtain state information and the right of all institutions of the government to get information of non-governmental organizations as well. All citizens, politicians and state officials and everyone has the right to understand their responsibility very clearly. The President said that the right to information is very important for the betterment of the public and cure the ailments prevailing in society, as well as to enjoy the rights of freedom and democracy, as well as nature, transparency.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe will leave the island for a 3-day official tour of New Zealand tomorrow. This was the first time that Sri Lankan Premier making an official tour of that country. The Sri Lankan Prime Minister will be visiting New Zealand on an invitation extended by Prime Minister of that country, John Key. The official welcoming ceremony of Premier Wickremesinghe will be held at New Zealand State House in Auckland on the 1st of October. He will call bilateral talks on regional economy during his 3-day official tour. The Sri Lankan delegation headed by the Prime Minister is scheduled to participate in several business and community forums as well. New Zealand Prime Minister John Key says the Sri Lankan Prime Minister's official tour will be a great opportunity for further strengthening friendly relations between the two countries.
In the meantime, India is to invest $2 billion in Sri Lanka in the next 3 to 4 years. This was disclosed by the visiting Indian Commerce and Industry Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in Colombo yesterday. Indian Commerce and Industry Minister Sitharaman, who was in the island for talks on the Economic and Technological Cooperation Agreement, called on Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and late senior ministers to discuss the terms of the agreement.
It is important to recognize that this negotiation has to be done in detail and without any kind of pressure on the timeline. It has got to be done with a lot of trust, and there's absolutely no compulsion on the time. It is important to recognize that both sides should be at ease when they conclude it. Both sides should be at ease when they negotiate. And therefore, let me reassure you here that India looks forward to having an agreement with Sri Lanka. We value that agreement. But of course it has to be done, taking everybody on board and talking on every issue of concern for both sides. It has to be done with great sense of ease and comfort. We believe that agreements of this nature, which are going to stand for a duration of time, will have to be done with a certain sense of responsibility and understanding. So we look forward to continuing the negotiation. I welcome the team which is going to come to India for the negotiation end of this month, early October. They will go into great details on issues which have been raised in the morning's meeting with businesses, because business houses which have been present both from India and Sri Lanka have voiced a lot of points on the operational aspects of the India-Sri Lanka free trade agreement which exists as of now. And if those issues are also got to be sorted out much before any new agreement is being talked, it is important and we are willing to open-mindedly deal with it. So I have in fact gone ahead with saying that on particular issues, whether it is of standards, whether it's of port of import, I will have the teams concerned ready, not just the chief negotiators who are going to be talking on trade, but the others about whom today Sri Lankan businesses have raised issues on. We are willing to sit with them, talk open-mindedly about issues which concern them, because eventually hurdles will have to be removed. Facilitation will have to happen. India is committed to having better neighborhood relations. In fact, you may recall the Prime Minister of India had openly said that his priority is to build neighborhood relationship. And in that, Sri Lanka is certainly a valued partner. We really appreciate the contribution that India and Sri Lanka have made towards trade in this region. Thank you.
Minister Sajith Premadasa revealed details of corruption and fraud said to have been taken place at the State Engineering Corporation during the previous regime. He was speaking at a media conference in Colombo today. The minister disclosed that Horanagalpa carpet work site, which was launched in 2012, has continued its functions only around 8 months from August 2013 to March 2014. He pointed out a 27 million rupee fraud took place during this period. In addition, vehicle and fuel allowance were given to officials without official vehicles in the ministerial staff and State Engineering Corporation, incurring a loss of 69.5 million rupees. Another 31 million rupee loss had been incurred as a result of purchasing iron at a high price without following proper tender procedure. 81 officials have been recruited by creating new posts in the corruption, and they were engaged in election propaganda activities of the National Freedom Front. The loss incurred to the corporation by this corrupt practice was in the region of 70 million rupees. Minister Sajith Premadasa disclosed that a sum of 2.5 million rupees had been misappropriated when printing diaries and calendars by State Engineering Corporation.
And in the meantime, the surveying of land and the house belonging to Yoshida Rajapaksa at Meendumata in Devila was conducted today on a court order issued by Mount Lavinia Magistrate on Thursday, the 15th. A case was filed on the questionable manner in which the relevant land had been purchased. A court order was issued to carry out the surveying of the land on Tuesday the 20th. It was not conducted due to the failure to attend from any person from Yoshida Rajapaksa's estate. The surveying was carried out today on the intervention of officials of the Survey Department and Financial Crime Division. However, Yoshida Rajapaksa stated that the property valued at 24 million rupees has been a gift by his grandmother Daisy Forrest to him.
Parliamentarian Jayantha Samarveera has been remanded till the 5th of next month. Colombo Fort Magistrate Lanka Jayaratne has issued this order against MP Jayantha Samarveera for his alleged involvement in misusing vehicles at the Presidential Secretariat. A loss of over 5 million rupees had been incurred by the government as a result of misusing these vehicles. MP Jayantha Samarveera has been summoned before the FCID this morning to record a statement on the incident. He was taken into custody and later produced before the court.
In other local stories, hundreds of people visited the Medicare 2016 exhibition, creating basic awareness on medical science amongst the public today, the 6th day of the exhibition. It will conclude tomorrow.
Let's have a look around Asia in 1 minute. A gas explosion in a coal mine left 18 miners dead and 2 missing in northwest China's Ningxi Autonomous Region. Curtains came down on a fortnight-long India-USA joint military exercise in northern Uttarakhand state with an energetic parade and drills yesterday. China shut schools and cancelled dozens of flights as Typhoon Maggie made landfall in the southern province in Fujian today. A US-based auction house puts part of the largest collection of personal Marilyn Monroe artifacts offered at auction on display in China for just 1 day during a worldwide tour. Nighttime tours of ancient palaces have become one of the hottest attractions in the Seoul, South Korea. Meanwhile, a cultural event in downtown Seoul has drawn more than 1,000 participants. Now for a short break, we'll be back with more local news.
Former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga says a country cannot be changed. only by introducing a new constitution. She emphasized the need of a wide dialogue towards creating of a society with good qualities and ethics. Former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga was speaking at the birth centenary commemoration of a pioneer in the leftist political wing of women in the country. The ceremony was held at the Mahavali Cent Auditorium in Colombo. It was organized by the majority group of Lanka Samasamaja Party, and floral tribute was paid at the portrait of the late leftist woman leader Vivian Gunawardena, who was born in 1916. She entered the political arena during her school days through Poppy Flower campaign launched against the British imperialism. She was an activist of Sri Lanka Samasamaja Party who represented Parliament in 1956, 1964 and 1970. The late Vivian Gunawardena has given leadership for several labour struggles in the island. She was hailed as the courageous daughter of the Sri Lankan leftist politics, and Dr. Jampati Vikramaratne, the attorney at law, Lal Vijayanaika and Dr. Vikramabahu Karunaratne were amongst the large gathering attending the commemoration ceremony.
Army Commander Lieutenant General Krishanta De Silva pledges to act with commitment for the protection of the country's territorial integrity as well as the public and property. He made this pledge after worshipping the sacred tooth relic at Sri Dalada Maligawa in Kandy. His visit to Kandy was arranged to coincide with the 67th anniversary of the Sri Lanka Army. It was a tradition to obtain blessings of the sacred tooth relic for army flags and brigades during the Sri Lanka Army anniversary celebrations every year. Army Commander Lieutenant General Krishanta De Silva said that several significant programs have been launched for the welfare of war heroes as well as to improve their skills and vocational level. He expressed the belief that these programs were sufficient for the future welfare of war heroes. The Sri Lanka Army is always committed to protect the motherland and the people. This task will be fulfilled by them at the highest level. Army Commander made a financial donation for the development work of Sri Dalada Maligawa in Kandy in the presence of Central Province Governor Niluka Ekanayaka Diyawadana Nilame Pradeep Nilanga Dala and several officers.
The water level in Mahavali Reservoir catchment areas is dropping rapidly owing to the prevailing severe drought in the area. Authorities said that the water capacity at Randanigala Reservoir has dropped to 40%, and at Victoria Reservoir the water capacity has dropped to 40%. The existing water capacity at Ranthambaya and Bovatanna reservoirs were around 10%. Power and energy officials said that there was no impact on hydropower generation at present, but the situation may aggravate to crisis proportions if rain is not received in the area during the next few days. Wildlife officers have taken measures to pump water in small reservoirs located in close proximity to forest parks being affected by the prevailing drought in the Polonnaruwa district. Invasion of wild animals in villages suffering from the lack of water has become a frequent occurrence recently. The poaching of wild animals has also increased. Wildlife officers said that they have taken measures to fill water in containers and small natural water pools to prevent the situation. Meanwhile, an elephant and a baby elephant fallen into a cultivation well at Pulagaswave in Habarana, and wildlife officers said that they took great pain to rescue the two big and small elephants. Several areas in the Putlam district have also been affected by severe drought. Our provincial correspondent reported that cultivations in Kirimatiana, Botalegama and Lunuville areas have been damaged severely.
Hundreds of farmers have staged a protest demonstration opposite the Dambuli Economic Centre demanding a price of 100 rupees per kilogram of big onions. As a result of this protest, Dambuli Economic Centre was closed for several hours, while transportation on two main roads has been disrupted. Protest demonstrators participated in a march up to city centre and staged a protest demonstration blocking Colombo and Kandy main roads. Farmers said that the big onions fetch a price of 40 to 60 rupees per kilogram, but they cannot sell it to that price. Therefore, those farmers have demanded a maximum price of 100 rupees per kilogram of big onions. They continued their protest, burning tires on the main road. Some of them had tried to attack vehicles. The police have failed to control the unruly situation. Thereafter, protest demonstrators continued their protest at Mirisgoniava Junction in Dambulla, blocking the main road once again. Meanwhile, the police informed the demonstrators to call off their campaign as they have obtained a court order. Accordingly, they were dispersed at around 5:30 p.m. today.
And in the meantime, the first passing out ceremony of youth teams in Borella who were trained in narcotic prevention was held at Wesley College Hall in Colombo yesterday. This training program is being implemented under the directions of the Presidential Task Force on Narcotic Prevention. The program is handled by the Sri Lanka Police and it is being implemented countrywide with police stations as the main centres. The youth team who received narcotics prevention training under the directions of the Borella Police passed out today at the ceremony held under the patronage of IGP Pujit Jayasundara. 100 children of drug-addicted parents as well as children who are addicted to drugs have been selected for this program. The aim of the 2 months training program was to create awareness on the ill effects of drug addiction amongst children and rescue them from the menace. IGP Pujit Jayasundara said that he expects better results in the next few months as a period of passing a significant juncture in looking after children who will take up society tomorrow. It is disclosed that he has already made a declaration that all police stations should provide these results in solving crimes. This rate should be over 70%. He said that all police officers who fail to fulfill this order should bear the responsibility and its consequences. Meanwhile, a protest demonstration was held in Batticaloa yesterday demanding the authorities to increase tobacco taxes. The aim is to obtain public signatures for a document and create awareness on the ill effect of narcotics. Divisional Secretariat, Police, health institutions and schools have joined hands to implement this program, which is organized by the Organization of Blossoming Flowers, formed by family members of persons who have faced injustice as a result of cigarette smoking. Meanwhile, Organization of Blossoming Flowers also staged a protest demonstration in the Monragala district recently demanding the authorities increase tobacco tax. Obtaining of people's signatures and an awareness program were the main features of their protest campaign.
The All Shares Price Index closed 6,512.32 points, increased by 29.03 points, and the S&P SL20 Index closed at 3,614.51 points, increased by 25.81 points at the end of trading in the Colombo Stock Exchange today. Turnover was over 1,046 million rupees. Here's a summary of market details of the Colombo Stock Exchange today. Up next is international news.
And taking a look at your top international story tonight, Dubai International Airport was forced to ground flights for half an hour due to a drone flying into the area. It said airspace around the airport closed just after 0800 local time today because of unauthorized drone activity. Arrivals were the first to resume, followed by departures 5 minutes later, with full services resuming at 9:07 a.m. Dubai Airport said it was working to minimize inconvenience and safety was its top priority. A spokesperson said the closure had resulted in minor delays to a total of 90 flights across the airport, and Dubai International Airport is one of the 4 drone no-fly zones set up by the General Civil Aviation Authority in April after an incident last year when a drone crashed. A 55-minute shutdown estimated to have cost the Emirates economy 3.7 million dirham a minute.
On to some international news in brief now. Former Israeli President Shimon Peres has passed away Wednesday morning in a hospital aged 93. Peres had been suffering from a stroke which occurred 2 weeks ago. Israel's oldest statesman born in Poland, Peres had served as the country's ministers of finance, foreign affairs and national defense, as well as the country's prime minister in his 60-year career in politics. 3 blasts killed at least 17 people and wounded more than 50 in predominantly Shia Muslim districts of Baghdad yesterday. police and medical sources said. A suicide bomber detonated his explosive vest in a commercial street in the eastern Al Jadida area of the Iraqi capital, killing 9 people and wounding more than 30, they said. Two Georgian politicians poured water over each other and exchanged kicks and blows during live TV debates ahead of the parliamentary election. A member of the Industrialist Party, Zaza Al-Agledz, poured a glass of water over his opponent, Iraqi Glonti from State for the People Party. Glonti replied with throwing water on his opponent. A glittering giant blue topaz stone, said to be the largest of its kind, is set to go on display at London's Museum of Natural History for the world to admire. The Ostra stone is an oval 9,381 carat blue topaz, equivalent in weight to 2 kilos or 2 bags of sugar. It's being given on permanent loan to a London museum by the family of gemstone pioneer Max Ostro, who discovered the giant stone in Brazil in 1986.
And taking a roundup of your world of sport tonight, the 42nd National Sports Festival begins at Doreapa Stadium in Jaffna tomorrow. 27 out of 33 events of the National Sports Festival have already been held at the stadium. Western Province is leading the medal table with 60 gold, 67 silver and 40 bronze medals. Central Province is at second place, while Southern Province is placed third. Western Province won the 42nd National Netball Championship. Central Province was the runner-up, and the 3-day National Netball Tournament was held at Anuradhapura Provincial Sports Complex, and Western Province beat Central Province in the finals by 55 points to 44. Sri Lankan players have qualified to play in the 16th round of men's beach volleyball tournament at the 5th Asian Beach Sports Festival. In a preliminary round match, Sri Lanka beat Oman by 2-1, and the tournament is being held at Deneng Neke Beach.
With the forecast, the Met Department says that fairly strong winds at times can be expected to continue over the island, and strong winds at times can be expected to continue in the deep and shallow sea areas off the coast extending from Hambantota to Batticaloa via Pothuwil. Several spells of light showers will occur in the western, central, Sabaragamuwa and northern provinces and in the Galle district. Thunder showers may occur at a few places in the eastern and Uva provinces after 2 p.m.
Well, that's it from Rupavahini News tonight. More stories tomorrow at the same time. Until then, good night.